So, let me share the screen to you all. You're able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, topic is the drugs acting on renal system. And that is renal system. And here we have two types of drugs, or two categories of drugs which act on the renal system. Okay. So one category is renal angiotensin system inhibitors. Okay, this where do we use these renin angiotensin system inhibitors? So they are used as antihypertensives. I think you can see the screen. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Antihypertensives. So now, before we discuss about the drugs used in the renal system, let us see what is renin angiotensin aldosterone system. Commonly, we in the short form call it as renin angiotensin system, but here let us still say that it is renin angiotensin aldosterone system, because aldosterone also has got some effect on these kidneys or the renal system. Okay, so now look into the diagram. Here we have the uh, renin secreted from the kidney. Okay? So, and it is released into the blood circulation, and this renin acts on the angiotensinogen. Okay, so this angiotensinogen is secreted by, what is this? Secreted by
Liver.
liver. Okay. So once it is in the blood circulation, then the renin acts on this angiotensinogen to convert into angiotensin 1. Okay. And this angiotensin 1 is again converted into angiotensin 2 with the help of an enzyme known as ACE. What is ACE? ACE means angiotensin converting enzyme. So it is converting angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. That's why this enzyme is called as angiotensin converting enzyme. And where is it produced?
Lungs.
It is produced in the lungs. Okay. So once this angiotensin 2 enters into the blood circulation, then it has got wide variety of effects. It acts on the pituitary gland, it acts on the blood vessels, it acts on the adrenal gland, then it acts on the nephrons, and it also acts on the other receptors also. So mainly, let us see one by one what is the effect. So it is acting on the sympathetic system to increase the blood pressure. Okay, this is one part, and then it acts on the nephrons, that is the tubular column of the nephron, or the tubular part of the nephrons. Okay, which will lead to increase in reabsorption of sodium ions. Okay, how is this sodium ions related to the pressure? Okay, we all know that what is blood pressure? Blood pressure is pressure, the lateral pressure exerted by the blood on the blood vessels is known as blood pressure. Okay, the blood pressure is directly proportional to the blood volume. So the volume in our body is approximately 5 liters. Okay. So if there is reabsorption of more amount of sodium, along with the sodium, there is also associated water, okay, which will be absorbed into the body. Okay. So thereby the blood volume increases. So the total effect of this thing is the blood volume increases, and as the blood volume increases, the blood pressure is also increased. And then the this is the second one, and the third effect, how there is increase in blood pressure due to this angiotensin 2 is that this angiotensin 2 acts on this adrenal gland, that is cortex part of the kidneys, and lead to secretion of aldosterone. And this secretion of aldosterone causes increased reabsorption of sodium ions and as well as water. Again, there is increase in blood volume. Then coming to the fourth part, that is, see, the angiotensin 2 also acts on the blood vessels, which will lead to vasoconstriction. Vasoconstriction means decrease in the diameter of the blood vessel. And whenever there is decrease in diameter of the blood vessel, automatically the pressure on the blood vessels increases. We call it as hypertension. Okay. Then the fifth part is that it acts on the pituitary gland, that is mainly on the posterior lobe, to secrete a hormone known as ADH, anti-diuretic hormone. Okay, so what this anti-diuretic hormone does is that it reabsorbs the water which is filtered by the kidneys. So all these five things contribute to the increase in blood pressure. So increase in blood pressure. So now a single and a single peptide, it is a polypeptide. So here the angiotensin 2 is a polypeptide which leads to increase in blood pressure. Okay. Now let us see, coming to the mechanism of action of the angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. So if the target here is, if you can prevent the formation of angiotensin 2, then we can reduce the blood pressure. That means if we can bring down the increased blood pressure to normal. How? One thing is, you can decrease the, or we can inhibit the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2 by targeting the enzyme angiotensin converting enzyme. Okay, so this is the main target that is commonly used to reduce the blood pressure. Okay, then before we go into the drugs, let us see what is this, how these angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors were developed. So initially, the ACE stands for angiotensin converting enzyme. Okay, so this ACE enzyme is a membrane-bound enzyme. Okay, that is, it is present on the outer surface of the cell. That's why it is called as the membrane-bound enzyme, and it belongs to a class known as zinc metalloproteinases. See, these zinc metalloproteinases are also called as carboxypeptidases. So it belongs to this ACE enzyme, belongs to a category known as zinc metalloproteinases, and this zinc metalloproteinases are also called as carboxypeptidases. What does this uh, carboxy, that is the ACE does is it hydrolyzes. Okay, so angiotensin 1 is a polypeptide which contains 10 amino acids. So 10 deca stands for 10. And what it does is this enzyme which acts on angiotensin 1 converts into octapeptide. Okay, it converts into octapeptide. Octa means
8.
8,
8.
8 amino acids and another 2 amino acids.
2
Okay.
amino acids.
So now together we got 10. So 10 amino
10.
acid angiotensin 1 is converted into 8 amino acid angiotensin 2,
Plus
acts on the different parts, that is increasing the sympathetic system, then acting on
Increase in the reabsorption of sodium.
yeah, increasing on the blood, that is acting on the blood vessels, then the other things that we have seen, that is production of
Release in the
aldosterone.
antidiuretic hormone.
Yes, production of aldosterone, production of the antidiuretic hormone. So all these things are being seen. Then coming to the next part. So the octapeptide which is present or which is called as angiotensin 2 has got the active sites in it. Okay, so these active sites of these angiotensin 2 are, that is, let me draw the diagram and show it to you. So whenever we say active site, right, so it is called as the binding site. So it is called as the binding site. So the binding site of this angiotensin 1, angiotensin 1 is this zinc binding site, and another is the arginine 145. Okay. So now can you tell me what are the enzymes made up of? Enzymes are made up of the amino acids. Okay, so there are number of amino acids on this ACE enzyme. So this is the structure of ACE enzyme, angiotensin converting enzyme, ACE enzyme. Okay, so what it has got a zinc binding site, and it has got another amino acid binding, that is, it binds at the arginine 145. So now if you look into the structure, okay, so the inhibitor of this enzyme, so first inhibitor before the development of the drugs, the first inhibitor was the triptotide. Okay, so before that it was the L-benzyl succinic acid. So the structure of L-benzyl succinic acid. Before that, let us see how hydrolysis of the angiotensin 1 is converted into angiotensin 2. So this is the, what is the bond between two amino acids called?
Polypeptide.
Peptide bond. It is called as peptide bond.
Polypeptide bond.
Right. So here we have a peptide bond, and so this is how the interaction takes place. So the one of this bond is called as the amide bond. Okay, amide bond, and the oxygen of it will bind with the zinc, and another oxygen of the L-benzyl succinic acid will bind with the so-called, what do you call it as, So here you will get a positive charge, partial positive charge. So partial positive and negative, so they attract, and this is how the hydrolysis takes place. So in case of this ACE1 converting into ACE2, so again we draw the same structure, right? Now how the hydrolysis has taken place. So this is how the hydrolysis of the okay. So here, see in the previous one, here you have a linkage, amide linkage is present here, right? But when hydrolysis has occurred, okay, the bond is broken. This is how ACE1 is converted into ACE2. Okay, so this is the main reaction involved, or how the hydrolysis will take place in the enzyme, that is the active site of the enzyme. Okay, right. Now let us see, you have, so initially L-benzyl succinic acid was found to have inhibitor activity of this enzyme. Okay, so this is the structure of L-benzyl succinic acid, which was the initial inhibitor of the ACE enzyme. So initial inhibitor in the sense it was only a partial inhibitor. Okay, right? What is this structure? It is a L-benzyl succinic acid. L-benzyl succinic acid. Okay, right? Now, will the hydrolysis takes place? Can anybody say will the hydrolysis takes place? No hydrolysis takes place. Why no hydrolysis takes place? Because you don't have, so the bond here to break, it's very difficult. You cannot break this bond. So that's why this L-benzyl succinic acid has bound to the enzyme, and then hydrolysis has not taken place. So now, so there is no chance of the angiotensin 1 coming and binding it at its binding site of ACE. Okay, so because it is already occupied by L-benzyl succinic acid, thereby no conversion of the angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. Okay, right? So this is the mechanism, that is initial development of the how the drugs were developed. Now, see, this is only one compound, that is L-benzyl succinic acid, was only a partial inhibitor of this ACE enzyme. But during the development of these ACE inhibitors, then they found that the succinyl group is essential for it, and to this succinyl group. So why succinyl group is a succinyl compound is essential? Because it has got two carboxylic groups, carboxylic acid groups. One binds to the zinc binding site and another binds to the, what is it? Arginine 145 amino acid.
145.
So in GPAT, now the question for GPAT. So what is the binding site of ACE inhibitors? Okay, or binding site of captopril, or binding site of L-benzyl succinic acid. Then you should say zinc. One is zinc binding site and another is arginine 145. Right. So what is the class of this ACE inhibitor? It belongs to metalloproteinases. It belongs to a class known as metalloproteinases. And these metalloproteinases are similar to, or they are also called as
Carboxypeptidases.
carboxypeptidases. Because, why it is called carboxypeptidases? Because it involves the hydrolysis of the peptide bond. Okay, so carboxypeptidases, right? Then next, coming to the how to design or develop ACE inhibitors. Right? So now we know that we have to design a compound which can go and bind at the active site of angiotensin converting enzyme. What this is nothing but this one. Okay, right? Now, so this part of the molecule is succinic acid, right? So what they have done is they have maintained the same succinic acid and let me write it again. Okay, so what they have done is they have maintained the same succinic acid group as it was there in the L-benzyl succinic acid because it is a partial agonist, and then they have taken the proline. Okay. So this part is called as the proline. Okay. Right? This part of it is called as the proline. Then why did they take this or why did they join this proline to succinic acid? Because there is a logic, right? So they have, this is also a GPAT question. They have seen that a compound which is isolated from the frog. So the name of the compound is teprotide. Remember, in your MCQs or in your GPAT questions, this will be asked. So what was the compound or a natural compound which showed inhibition of ACE enzyme? Then your answer is teprotide, which is isolated from a, I think if I am not wrong, it is from a African frog. And this teprotide contained proline as its terminal part. That's why they have chosen proline along with the succinic acid. Now, do you have the binding sites on this molecule? Okay, so this molecule is called as succinyl proline. Okay, yes, we do have. So here the binding site for zinc, and here you have carboxylic acid, which can bind to arginine 145.
45.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. Then this succinyl proline, then it was further developed into, so what they have done is they have included a methyl group in its structure so that it can further bind more efficiently when compared to the succinyl proline. So this was the compound. So what is the difference between the this compound and this compound? So
Methyl group is added.
methyl group is
Added.
okay, and so even this compound also has not shown the full antagonistic activity. Okay? Full antagonist. It was also showing lesser activity. Then they thought that, see, an antagonist means it should bind to the active site of the enzyme and it should not allow the substrate to enter. So the binding must be greater when compared to the substrate. So then what they have done is they have introduced, instead of the carboxylic group, what they have done is they have taken the sulfhydryl group, that is thiol group, we call it as thiol group. Okay, SH C double bond O and proline as such. So this was the first compound that has shown the full antagonistic activity. Can you name what is this compound? It is the first compound which has shown the ACE inhibitor activity. So what was the first compound that was developed? It was
Captopril.
captopril. So this is the yes, this is the history of the development of ACE inhibitors. So we have got less than 1 minute. Let me take a snapshot and then continue, because for the and Kavya, group leader, please kindly see that you are taking the attendance of all the people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you
Yes, sir.
make it out who are present and who are absent?
Now on itself.
Is it possible? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. I think total